Next up, we have a presentation on protecting your waterways by Nick Ingram with Valley Water, who will provide some very valuable information. Nick?
Hey, thanks everyone. It's an honor to be speaking to such an audience, and thank you for the opportunity. My name is Nick Ingram. I work with Valley Water's Adopt a Creek program, and it's very similar to if you've ever heard of Adopt a Highway, Adopt a Park. It's a similar program, but because we are a water district and water resources are our business, we have an Adopt a Creek program, and it's a community-based program where we have partners that range from individuals to families all the way up to major corporations like Adobe and Cisco that will select a section of creek that they feel is in need of some extra love and adopt out a section of that creek. And Valley Water works with them to issue a permit so that they have full access to that creek for those creek cleanups. The permit is a 2-year permit, and usually we adopt out sections of creek that are about a half a mile long, which is a reasonable section for an individual all the way up to those larger groups that I mentioned. And we typically ask that our partners do a minimum of 2 cleanups per year. A cleanup could be you and your friend walking through the section of creek, grabbing trash as you go, or a full-on, organized cleanup effort, which we'll talk about here in a second. But more than just picking up trash, this program is about community members becoming the eyes and ears for our creeks, which are valuable resources, not only for holding water, but also important habitat. And the health of our creeks also impacts things like flood risk and value of land around those creeks. If the creek is beautiful, it will increase the value of the surrounding areas. So we don't just give you a permit and then send you out there. We're here to support you in the Adopt a Creek effort. And Valley Water offers cleanup supplies to our Adopt a Creek partners at no cost to them. We also offer training for best practices for safe and effective creek cleanups. We recognize that not everybody has enough space in their home trash bin to discard all of this trash. So we can even pick up trash that is collected during these cleanups. And of course, we want to recognize our partners, and we offer signage usually at one of the ends of your adopted section that just recognizes that that section of creek has been adopted by you. Here on the screen, you can see an example of one of the signs. This one happens to be for Adobe down here in downtown San Jose, near where I live. So just a quick rundown of some of the numbers here. Our Adopt a Creek program alone consists of about 65 partners on any given year. In the fiscal year, the 2022 fiscal year, we had about 754 volunteers participate in the program, and those volunteers cleaned 27.5 miles of creek and picked up a total of 41,750 pounds of litter. That's just our individual Adopt a Creek partners. We also, as an agency, work with those partners to host 2 large-scale county-wide cleanup efforts each year. One in the 3rd Saturday of May, which is National River Cleanup Day. You can see the poster for our 2022 National River Cleanup Day event there on the left. And then we also host one for Coastal Cleanup Day, which is the 3rd Saturday in September. And here I have 2021's poster for that event. As I mentioned, Coastal Cleanup Day is a county-wide cleanup effort throughout Santa Clara County. It's the 3rd Saturday in every September. And in 2021, we had 913 volunteers participate. And those volunteers cleaned 99 miles of creek and removed a total of 29,431 pounds of litter. Similarly, for National River Cleanup Day, which we just held in May, we had 596 volunteers clean 36 miles of creek and remove 25,264 pounds of litter. So between our Adopt a Creek partners and those 2 major cleanups, you can see that we we had a significant impact on, cleaning 163 miles of creek. Just for your reference, Valley Water manages about 275 miles of creek throughout the county. So it's a pretty good effort on the amount of miles cleaned. And a lot of volunteers reached and engaged in this effort to remove an impressive 96,446 pounds of litter. So this is, like I said, it's more than just picking up trash. This program has a really big impact on our communities, not only for the obvious one of just getting litter out of the environment, which we all know is a good thing, but by doing so, we improve the habitat of our creeks. We improve the water quality that flows through our creeks. Removing litter and debris from the creeks reduces flood risk. And most importantly, it builds community. And I love this image here on the right side because I feel like starting with the youth and instilling that sense of stewardship for our environment is so critical. And this program is a great opportunity for families to engage with their children and other young people in the community and get out there and spend some time outside and do some good for the community. So I want to give you a little bit of information on how to get involved. It's pretty simple. There's essentially 3 steps. First is oftentimes the hardest one, which is selecting a creek site. Oftentimes people will come to us, they already have a section of creek in mind and they want to adopt it. But although we manage 275 miles of creek, we don't own all of those, we don't own all of the creeks in Santa Clara County. And this screen grab of the map here on the screen, I know it's kind of confusing, but just for some reference, right here in the center, this is Lower Silver Creek near Plata Arroyo Park. And this section was just recently adopted. And then we have this orange section is the adopted section. And then these purple areas are areas that are available for adoption still. So this is just one little snapshot in East San Jose, but there's lots of opportunity there. But just for your reference, like this blue line here is a creek, but we don't own it. And so it wouldn't necessarily be available for adoption, but we have an online resource that I can send the link out for, one that helps people find a creek near them to adopt. Once you have a section, you can fill out an application on our website. Send that in, and then within 7 days, I'll get back to you. We can discuss the site, maybe even go out and visit the site with you to make sure it is suitable for adoption. And then we'll draft you a permit. And once you receive your permit, you are ready to start planning your first cleanup. Sorry, I'm moving quickly because I'm trying to be conscious of everyone's time. And then, oops, sorry, that's a duplicate slide. I just had a separate image in there. And then if all of this creek adoption stuff is just too much and you don't want to handle that kind of a commitment, we have other ways for people to get out and assist in this effort. So I mentioned those 2 large county-wide cleanup efforts. Those are hosted by our partners, but volunteers throughout the community are welcome to join those hosted cleanup sites. So coming up here at the 3rd week of September, on September 17th, from 9 a.m. to noon, Valley Water, in conjunction with the Creek Connections Action Group, which is a group of city partners and other agencies, as well as our Adopt a Creek partners, will be hosting 30 different cleanup sites. And volunteers can sign up or register to participate in one of those cleanups with no long-term commitment. So if that's something that interests you, you can find a cleanup site or sign up to be notified when the registration opens at www.cleanacreek.org, and then click on upcoming events and you'll see those registrations. If you want more information about the Adopt a Creek program, you can visit this URL here. And then if you have any questions that you want to follow up with me on, I can be reached at volunteer@valleywater.org.